I'm April Sproul, and I'm an artist who works with textiles. Recently, I've been making what I call upcycled wearable art. That is, I take an old, outdated, boring garment and turn it into something completely new and different. I'd like to share my creative process with you, so we'll start with the supply list for this project. One of the major goals here is for me to use what I've already got on hand in my studio, and I have quite a bit here, so it's usually a pretty good place to go shopping and find what I need. Here's the dress that I started with. It was a 15-year-old cotton knit dress, and the fabric was really great condition. It just begged to be reused and made into something else more beautiful. When I was in design school, I could never find prints that I liked for my sample garments, but I was always drawn to engineered prints, which are prints that are manipulated in a certain way to enhance and embellish a garment. Up until now, I really didn't have the means to create those designs on fabric, but with my textile design stencils, it's become incredibly easy. I always start each piece with a little production sketch. I begin with a silhouette or the outline of the garment and decide on the overall fit. Then I start adding in the details, and I usually shop around and use a commercial pattern that's pretty close to what I want. From there, I alter the pattern and I'm ready to start. So instead of starting by ripping all the seams apart, I usually just cut the garment apart on the seam lines and cut out the new garment. Here you can see I've started the painting process. I work with a piece of sandpaper underneath, and that holds everything firmly in place. I've started painting the poppies on the front of the dress, and to get this really nice taupe color, I ended up mixing the Lumiere gold and the neopaque black together. And that works out really well, so it's got a little bit of shine, but it's not overpowering. You can also see that I've done a stay stitch, just a little basting stitch around the neckline of the dress to hold it firmly and keep it in shape, keep it from stretching out while I'm working. Here you see the front and the back and the sleeve. The bodice area, neckline area is all completely painted, and I'm ready to start sewing it together. So at this point, I would sew together the shoulder seams and start the embellishing. Now you can see I've started pulling out some of my supplies and items that I want to use for the embellishment of this piece. So I've picked out two different types of beads, a very small bead and then a medium-sized bead for a little bit more shine and interest, and then three different colors of the embroidery thread. And again, I just go through my stash, figure out what'll work, and go from there. For the silk organza ruffle, I used plain silk organza, painted it with color hue dyes, and then cut it 1.5 inches wide and zigzag the edge. So here I'm working on the embellishing after everything's painted. This is the hemline of the dress. I painted the neckline first and made the mistake of doing my beading before I did the embroidery stitches, and that just kept me from being able to use an embroidery hoop when I did all the stitching. This time I'm doing the embroidery stitches first and using the hoop, and then afterwards I can do the beading. It's much easier that way. So here's a shot of the finished bodice with the ruffle. You can see how much just that little bit of embellishment has added to the garment. It gives it so much more depth and dimension, and the beading really perks it up quite a bit too. So I'm very happy with the results of this. Now we have a close-up shot of the hemline, and you can see details of the painting. You can see how I've shaded from light to dark and dark to light on the different flowers, and how well the stencils work out on the knit fabrics. So here's the final shot of the almost finished garment, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I hope that you're inspired to rescue some old bedraggled garment from your closet and breathe new life into it, or I should say sew new life into it. So please have fun, and thank you very much for watching my video. Once again, this was my poppy design that I used on the poppy dress. And you can check out the rest of my textile design stencils and other items at my website. It's scrollstudios.com. And you can also catch my blog at scrollstudios.blogspot.com. Thank you very much.